Well, here we are. Hey, I'm actually a minute early. How do you like them apples? So let me pop out my chat here. Hi, Carla. Hi, Kat. Yay. Hi, Laura. You guys made it. Oh, boy. Wait, let me move some stuff around here real quick. Okay. I'm right on time, huh? Hi, Anne. Are you guys excited? Nairobi, you're here. Yay. Christina, welcome. Oh, you were just watching a flip through? Oh, and then you probably got a little notice that I was on live, huh? Nice. Well, thanks for clicking on that. Hi, Virginia. Brenda. Hi, Brenda. So I'm going to add a couple of, I'm going to make Brenda and Carla both moderators also for this stream. Hi, Myrna. Just, because somebody's got to keep an eye on you guys. So you're just checking in, Nairobi? Okay. Nice. All right. So you guys got all your stuff already? Yeah, to keep you guys in check. Exactly. So I've been working like a dog. I got some more stuff together too for clusters, but at the same time, because I need them, I'm almost out of them. I didn't include any necessarily in the collection / kit, but I've been using a lot of them and selling some too. So anyway, yeah. So, and I had a whole bunch of stuff that I've been kind of setting aside in a little basket that I wanted to use up. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Dottie. I'm glad you made it. You made it. Right on. Hi, Grace. Grace is here in the house. Okay, Virginia. Yeah, what are you cooking? Or just tell us when you come back. It's fine. I know how it is. You can lurk. It's totally fine. Oh, you sorted the salad, Anne? That's funny. I see what kind of personality you are if you're sorting the salad. Hi, Corrine. Right on. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Hi, Clara. So I don't know if, a lot of you guys, attend live streams often or whatever, but just want to let you know, if you're wanting to ask me a question or something like that specifically directed at me, please type all in caps, and I won't feel like you're yelling at me or anything like that. But if you really want, that whatever your comment or question is to be directed at me, then type it all in caps, and that way, I will be a little bit more likely to notice it. And don't get your feelings hurt if I don't notice it. I apologize if I don't, but we do have 3 moderators that are here to help, so hopefully they can answer questions and things like that. So hi, Fiona. Hi, Paula. Hi. If I miss anybody, Regina. Nice. Well, I'm glad you guys all made it. So I wanted to, I was hoping that I would have had a couple other things done before 4 o'clock, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was kind of busy uploading a couple of videos and stuff like that to that I had listed. I had some journals that I listed earlier, and I wanted to make sure and upload videos for those listings. But one thing that I kind of wanted to do is, you know, I've gone through a couple sets of these in my lifetime, and I sort of wanted to try adding some of the rub-ons on the on some of my bases. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that, but I use these Tim Holtz rub-ons on my, like, on a lot of my like bases, you know, for the clusters. And I just think, you know, it adds another you know, like a little layer of interest in the background, kind of. And so I'll do that. I do that a lot, and you know, I'll just sit here and kind of rub all of that off onto different pieces, and then a lot of times I will on shapes like this, I'll take this liquid leaf and, you know, paint around the edges of things. I'm fast with making journals. You know, Fiona, I don't know if I'm necessarily fast. And I'm sure you know this, but I do a lot at one time. So, I mean, okay, maybe I'm a little bit fast. Maybe a little bit. But I think it's because of the way I do it. I think it's just because of my process. And, you know, I prep a whole bunch of covers. I prepare a whole bunch of signatures. I stitch all the signatures in. I go in and, you know, insert like pockets and things that I'm going to attach that aren't included in the signature, you know, and then I decorate the covers, do whatever I'm going to do on the covers. And everything is done, like everything happens all together, you know, like I do one step at a time, but I do that on all of the journals that I'm working on at that time. So I guess I am pretty organized. I sort of have to be, you know, I can't, yeah, it is kind of an assembly line, and I feel weird saying that with something that is like an artistic expression, but you know, I do want to produce a lot of work, and I want to get a lot done. Like, that's my goal. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about trying to prep a whole bunch of bases and stuff, but I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that, you know, these are really cool to use for you know, backgrounds. So when I say bases, what I mean is whatever it is that you're going to create this little cluster on, you know, and that can be anything, you know, it can be anything. Generally, I like that to be something somewhat sturdy, and that also is going to determine, you know, like the size of your, you know, the ultimate size of the cluster. So, you know, it can, if you want to do like paperclip size or something like that, you know, you want to start with something relatively small, right? The more successful you are, the more volume you need to do. Well, no, Carla, I know it's not in a bad way. I know, and you do work the same way, and it's just because of how our brains work. I'll come back to that, Regina. But it's just kind of the way your brain works, and I just get bogged down when I only have one thing to work on. It's like I lose my motivation and I just get like overwhelmed with it. I get frustrated with it. It doesn't come out the way I want it to. I get tight and like I overthink it and that kind of thing. So, that's why I do what I do the way I do it, because seriously, there's no way I could get bored with this many journals to work on. There's just no way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get bored too, Carla. And and then at the same time, like I've got larger journals that these are all, these have the signatures sewn in, and these are like blank canvases for me, and there's about a dozen more of these that I've got sitting over on a shelf waiting for me to work on. And that just feels really good. It's like comforting to me to know that I have all of that stuff that I can work on, and I can work on anything I want whenever I want. Anyway, yeah, it is a lot of journals. It is a lot of journals. Yeah, Corinne, I have a lot of stuff, so I guess that's part of it. And then as far as the what your comment, Regina. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the stock in my Etsy shop kind of went like, whoa. Like, I had a couple of large purchases that kind of freaked me out, to be really honest with you. Like, I sold a whole bunch of journals over the last 4 or 5 days and really depleted my stock. So one of my biggest fears is that I'm going to get to that point where I don't have any journals to sell and that I'm going to have to start taking orders. And I just don't really like that pressure, I don't want that kind of pressure. If I had that kind of pressure, I suppose I would learn to deal with it, and I would make it work. But that's probably my biggest fear at this point, is running out of journals. So, yeah. So, if I'm not as responsive as, I should be, part of that is because I'm just working. Like, I'm working hard. I'm just trying to get stuff done, and trying to keep it different and exciting and entertaining for my own self, because I want this to be fun, and it has to be fun for me. Otherwise, I'll just have to go back to work in a call center. So it's kind of where I'm at. Thanks, Brenda. You rock too. You really do. You guys are awesome. So anyway, back to bases. So, a base can be a little teeny tiny thing like that, or, it can be half a postcard. It could be as large as, a flashcard. It just depends on what you're doing, right? Like what you need it for. A playing card. Hang on just 1 second, you guys.
Can I see your card? Buy something?
Yeah.
Special for you, $10.
Okay. The black one. What else was I gonna pull out of here? One of my favorite things to use are the Monopoly cards. They're great little bases. So I'll make these clusters to be attached to something, or to just be the thing it is, right? Like, if I want to use a cluster on, whoops, I just spilled that whole box. Like, some of them, like this one, is made on, a card that has some of the Tim Holtz rub-offs and a little bit of washi tape, But this is meant to just be attached to a journal, right? Oh, actually, it's attached to a tag. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes I make these clusters to be used as a tuck spot, or to be used as a pocket, if that makes sense. Where's Steven? Is Steven in the chat? Oh, you're just saying hi to Steven. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought maybe Steven was in the stream. I'll make sure and tell him you said hello. Unless he's in there. Is he in there? Okay, I hope not. He can, I don't care. They're talking about my boyfriend. Anyway, so that's bases. When I talk about bases, that's what I mean. Just like, where do you start? What you start out on. And so I wanted to also kind of tear up some of these coffee dyed doilies, because I like to use little pieces of them. You don't want him to feel left out. He took himself to the other room. He didn't think he could be quiet. So so he put himself in the other room. Can you guys see okay? I mean, I don't know. I guess I was going to like zoom in, but I don't really think that's necessary. So tell me what kind of things you guys are using for bases besides just the, like postcards and the same kind of stuff that I'm using. Anybody using anything different? So I picked up a whole bunch of, let me tell you some of the stuff that I added to my trays that were not there last time we met up. The Prima flowers, the can of Prima flowers that I bought, there was a whole bunch of these little butterflies in there. So I thought these would be kind of fun to use in some clusters. I added some, paper flowers to my collection. What else? Oh, so I've been saving playing card packaging. And I thought these would be kind of cool to use as bases too. Some of these are, pretty old, and just like packaging, like this is from like a, what do they call it? Like a rhinestone setter thing, like a, what do they call that thing? Do I have a big postage stamp collection? I do have quite a few postage stamps. I'm not a postage stamp collector. I have purchased a few postage stamp collections from people. So, but yeah, I do have a ton. You're trying out a poster board that came with 5 in a pack from Dollar General. Seems to be okay so far. Not done yet. 5 trays from Bass Pro for $10. Spaces are adjustable. Oh, Laura, so you got some trays with adjustable spaces. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I was going to tell you guys, this tray, that's the one that, is there. I actually bought that one at a thrift store, and it was filled with those little teeny tiny rubber bands, But it's actually one of these. These are from Joann's. I got this at Joann's. It was $7.99. And what I like about them is that these are curved. The spaces are curved, so it's easy to pull things out of there with your fingertip. The kind that are like real square, it's almost impossible to pull anything out of the corner. And that's why I like this tray too, because it's all rounded on the inside, so it's really easy to pull things out of there. And then the same manufacturer as that. They're just at Joann's in the jewelry display like section, you know. They also have these that have the long sections, and I was like, wow, that's cool, because I have all of these, you know, pieces. These are scraps that I've cut into like banners and stuff, you know. And I just had them in one of those little square ones, and I haven't organized this. I just kind of stuck them in wherever they would fit at the moment. But I have a ton of scrap paper that I've cut into banners. So this is like my banner box now. And I use those banners as bases a lot. So that's kind of why I have this pulled out. And then I pulled out a little bag of salad. Have you guys been making your own salad? Oh, you're using a wallet calendar. Nice, Paula. Are the pages kind of heavy, or? So I just kind of wanted to add to my personal stash of salad a little bit, and cut and tear a few things. Hi, Patricia. You organized your ephemera, okay? Okay, nice. It makes it easier to see what's going on. At one point, I tried just having, you know, all of that kind of stuff in a big box, just like a big flat tray box, you know, but it was too overwhelming. So, oh, you're using bingo cards, Regina? I know, I love bingo cards. I have a couple pieces of bingo card that I've used. I love them. So I just kind of, you know, I like to tear fabric whenever I can. So linen is really, really, really hard to tear. But I'm typing one-handed, so excuse the all lowercase. Okay, Carla, I forgive you. Yeah, I've got some pretty old bingo cards, and they're like oversized. So, okay, you like the salad? Did you sort yours out like Paula did? Paula sorted her salad. Okay, cardstock about the size of an ATC. Okay. Oh, the calendar. Nice. So just cutting up some of these doilies that I purchased for this purpose, you know. So I guess is that a doily? Yeah, it's a doily. Yeah, I like it mixed too. It's a personality thing, I guess. Maybe. Or maybe just want to really know exactly what's in there. Huh, Paula? Like you wanted to know exactly what was in there. Hi, Willow. Hi, I'm glad you could join us. It's nice to see you. So my intention today is to try to make some larger clusters that I can use as like pockets and stuff like that. So that's part of the reason that I'm cutting some larger pieces of fabric up. really want to use some of this. I love the embroidery on this one. And some people probably just cringe to see someone cutting up something that someone spent hours and hours and hours and hours on. Oh, honey, everybody says hello.
Oh.
He came back in to tend to the fire, it looks like. Because it will go out. It will definitely go out. Needs a lot of attention. So I'm liking the way this is tearing. I love these little, you know, frayed pieces. You wanted to see all the... Oh, I thought it was Paula. I'm sorry, Paula. I thought it was you that sorted. I forgot it was Anne. Sorry. I get confused. I confuse easily. Yeah, I love torn fabric. Oh, look at this. It's just like shredding apart. That's cool. I love just little tiny bits of stuff, you know. Anyway, so that's enough of those. The fire is awesome. We got this wood from a lady who lives up north of Spokane, and her son, they cut firewood, and so he was with her when they delivered it and stuff, and he unloaded it all off the truck. He's 14, but I just think it's really cool. Like, yeah, that's my fire. I just think it's really cool that you know, her and her son do that together, you know. And he was really sweet. He offered to like stack it all neatly for me and stuff, and you know, I was kind of like, nah, don't worry about it. Just get it off the truck, you know. But yeah, so it's red fir, and it just, oh, it smells so good. It's like kind of sweet, the smell of the smoke. I love it. Thank you, honey. Yeah, I wish we had a wood stove. It's just a fireplace, but I do like to be able to see it, so that's good. So let's see how many clusters we can get done today. No, I got that already. Yeah, I'm trying to get some like larger pieces that I can work with. Oh, sorry. This is some it's called ticking cloth. Okay, it's like a utility fabric. I get it at Joann's, and it is not super cheap, by the way. It's like, really, like right now it's 40% off. So it's normally $17.99 a yard. Don't ask me why, but I mean, honestly. And I've looked for it online, and I found some other patterns of ticking cloth and that I really like. for a little bit less money. So I'll probably be ordering some of those eventually, and I'll show you guys and link it depending on where I wind up getting it from. But yeah, they used to make pillows out of this fabric, and mattresses and stuff. Like they would upholster mattresses with this fabric. It's not canvas. No, this is canvas. Canvas is basically, this is coffee dyed, by the way. Yeah, I love the red one too. But the canvas is basically duck cloth, is what they call it. When you buy it at the fabric store, they call it duck cloth. Yeah, and I do, Regina, I do coffee dye this. Not always, not all of it, but a lot of it I do. And I just like the way it makes it look, kind of old. And I dry it on the rack or the fireplace like screen in front of the fire. That's where I dry it. So, but this is a lot lighter weight, Brenda. This is a lot lighter weight. Ticking cloth comes in different weights. Like this is super, soft and flexible, lightweight fabric. It's just basically like a cotton knit. This one is a little bit heavier. It's a little bit thicker. And then this is basically the same print, but it's the lighter weight. So when you go to Joann's, if you're looking for it, you'll see the two different weights of the same pattern. And one of them is very similar to canvas or duck cloth. It's very similar. And I guess it's kind of canvas-y. It's not quite as heavy as the duck cloth, though. Is it Nana? Nana, is that what we call you? Or I don't know. Nana's Cooking Craft Corner. Okay. That's what I go by. For my grandkids, they call me Nana. I love it. I'm glad you're here. Oh, you have to go? Already? All right, Kay, I know you did say you were just going to stop in. So, Walking Dead, huh? All right, well, have fun. Have fun. Thanks for coming and, hanging out for a little while. Send some pictures. Show us some pictures of your clusters, in the Facebook group. Maybe if Carla or Brenda or Laura wants to link the Facebook group in the chat, that would be awesome. And send a request and we'll get you approved and added. Patricia, you've seen ticking cloth in fat quarters for less than that. Yeah, I think one of the vendors where I saw it online, I think they were at about $9.99 a yard. That was like the cheapest that I found. So, Nana, you're asking what is this for? Are you referring to the fabric or what we're doing in general? Because I have no idea what we're doing. We're just hanging out. We're making clusters, like layered embellishments. So what it's for is we are creating embellishments for junk journals, basically, or any other kind of journal, I guess. But we're making like, I call them clusters, that's just kind of what I've started referring to them as. So they're just these little pieces that are, layered up with different little bits and fabric and postage stamps and lace and, all kinds of, different elements. And they're all layered together. My process is that, I take all of those little elements and I hold it together with one staple. So that's my goal, is to only use one staple. And then I'll go back and like glue on a button or a paper flower or something like that. But that's kind of my own personal challenge to myself, is to just one staple. So you learn new things all the time. Nice. Yeah, so do I. I also want to try to use up more of the packaging from the silk. And I wanted to try to use some of this trim. Sorry, I was not 100% prepared, you guys. Don't know what Steven's doing now, you guys. He came in and then he left. Don't know where he went. Yeah, I can show you a sample where I used it. Also, if you want, go look at my Etsy shop and you'll see tons of them in my journals. And I actually even have them listed for sale in my Etsy shop. If somebody wants to maybe add a link, Brenda, Carla, Laura, somebody add a link maybe to my Etsy shop. This is cheesecloth that I've coffee dyed. And I'm just cutting up some pieces of it. Larger pieces than what I'm going to find in the junk journal salad. Nana probably thinks I'm crazy calling fabric salad, but let's see. The gloss medium that I use when I'm making my tags is triple thick. Triple thick. Yeah, it's a Deco Art product. You're doing good, Carla. Yeah, so it's probably a little bit thinner, I think, now that I said it was exactly the same as Glossy Accents. If I look at the way Glossy Accents moves in the bottle, it's a little bit thicker, but honestly, not much, so this is 2 ounces. Yeah, it's Deco Art. It's a Americana Deco Art. I guess I don't know what brand it is then. It's either Deco Art or Americana triple thick. But so 2 ounces of Glossy Accents is $5.99. And 8 ounces of triple thick is $5.99, and you can use a 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby to buy it, so you can get it for like $3.50. Anyway, when you make as many tiles at one time as I do, you definitely want the most economical way to do that. Plus, as many as I've made, I want them to be sturdy. One thing I will say about the triple thick and Glossy Accents, though, is that you have to let those dry for days and days and days before they won't stick together. If they're put together like under any kind of pressure at all, they will kind of, lightly stick to each other. And if that happens, you just have to kind of gently just snap them apart. every once in a while that happens with those tiles. But after, that stuff curing for, a couple of weeks, that doesn't really happen anymore. Oh, you guys, you don't have a Hobby Lobby, Nana? Well, that stuff you can find anywhere. I mean, you could buy it anywhere, really, at a, a craft store. Not sure if they have it at Michael's. I've not seen it at Joann's, but it's out there. You can find it online. It's available. I mean, Americana is a huge brand. So, yeah, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, online at Hobby Lobby. That's right. Yep. So Nana, are you familiar with like junk journaling, or? I'm just curious. All right, I think I've got some supplies ready to go. Okay, so you're familiar with the idea of junk journaling then. Okay. I was just wondering. So like I said, I mean, my goal is to have this whole entire thing held together with one staple. And I mean, it's not my goal to necessarily get as much stuff on this as I can. I'm just looking for a certain amount of balance. That's really what I'm looking for is like balance. So, well, where's my stapler now? Oh, here it is. You have a normal journal? We don't do normal around here. So what I do is I'll just make up a whole bunch of these kind of unembellished, so to speak, and then I'll come back in and I'll attach like buttons and more flowers or things like that, So I generally will take my base, whatever it is, and hold it in one hand, and then I'm holding with my thumb where I'm feeling like I want to add that one staple. So it's a piece of just, of an old letter. So if you guys go on, wait 1 second. Elizabeth, hi Elizabeth. So this one is a little bit small to use as a tuck spot by itself, but not necessarily. I mean, it could be used on a page on the corner or pocket, or could even get stapled onto a page or whatever. But they don't really have a purpose at this point. They're just there to use when I need something like that, Sounds like there's kids here. Oh, I guess not. It's teenagers. Yeah, does that answer your question, I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, they don't necessarily have a purpose at this point. They just are. I do want to make some that are intended to be used as like a tuck spot on a page, though. So yeah, I need to make some more salad, you guys. Almost out of salad. Things get, these will get adjusted here and there, and like I said, like I just try to make sure that there's the idea of whatever that is in the cluster. Like, you don't have to be able to see the whole thing. I just want you to have the idea that it's there. And I want to use up all these the Tim Holtz people, and I have a bunch of the little ones. So it's kind of fun to take one and add butterfly wings behind them. Yeah, I not always, Elizabeth. I won't always do that. Like, it could be used on a tag, if you want to, but this is just an embellishment that can be used in a lot of different ways. Like, here's a tag. You could just attach that on there if you want to, or let's see. You could just glue it onto the front of a journal cover. These don't have any embellishments inside of them right now. I was trying to think of. That's a really good question. So hang on just a second. Let me grab another journal and I'll show you a couple other ways that I use them. Glad you came back in, honey. It's cold in there, huh? So let's see. Don't know if I used any as tuck spots necessarily in this book. I'm actually really low on clusters, which is part of the reason that we're doing this today. Yeah, absolutely, Elizabeth. No, I hear ya. Yeah, this is a bad book to use as an example. Let's see. Yeah, I was like, okay, so this is just a little cluster that I made on a little tiny base, okay? It's made on just a little card like that, and kind of layered up and stapled. And then that was it. Like, it was done. There's some cheesecloth and, postage stamp, a little paper cutout, a little word there, and that was stapled together. So then I have those in a drawer that I keep next to me. And, when I have an area where I feel like I need an embellishment, I'll just, I'll grab a cluster. And sometimes I'll attach it to another card or something like that. Or sometimes I'll attach it to a paper clip, I don't have many in here that I can show you that are not attached to paper clips. But yeah, so you could take one of those little clusters, whoops, and you could take this and just, apply some glue here and here and just put that in the corner of a page if you want to, and then this would be a pocket. You could just attach it like that on a page attached here and there, and then you have a pocket. Or you could put it on the edge of a page, staple, and then this is like a tuck spot on the side of a page. Or you could put it on the corner of a tag or something like that. You could use it on the cover of a journal. And then what I'll do is I'll make up a bunch like this that are kind of 99% done, right? And then I'll go back, and if I feel like it needs another like element or something, I'll add like a button. Yeah, and just glue it onto the pocket. Yeah. Oh, nice, Dawn. You sent a request. Cool. So you answered the questions. You have to answer the questions. So this one's pretty much done, but I feel like it needs something else to kind of just add another little bit of interest, So I'll just glue a button on it, or a snap, or some kind of little like three-dimensional type of thing. And that sort of depends on, that's going to help me figure out where I'm going to be able to use it too. Like if it gets too fat, I won't use it inside of a journal. I'll use it on the cover of a journal, but yeah. So that's kind of my process with them. Yeah, sure. So since I'm like almost completely out of them, I'm like, I gotta sort of crank them out, Usually I'll just use one piece of fabric or lace or fabric trim or something like that. Like generally I'll just try to stick to one per, unit or per cluster or whatever. Try to make it so that not everything is like going to fit perfectly on this little card, Oh, okay. Have at it. What was, Joe. That's your name is Joe. Okay. Well, thanks for talking this time. Okay, Brenda. Okay, Brenda, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, so I'm not trying to necessarily get everything to fit on that card, right? Like it doesn't have to fit within those parameters, I want things to kind of jut out over the edges or the sides or whatever. I want it to almost look like it just kind of all landed there. Yeah, I like the bits hanging off too, Elizabeth. I do too. So, kind of got a thing about these flowers right now. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, my goal is not to necessarily get as many elements on there as I can, but I'm looking for just a pleasing like composition, And this is kind of similar to what I do when I'm making my tiles, you guys. Like, I don't necessarily have to have everything fit just perfectly. I have stuff hanging off the sides of my tiles too, sometimes. I have to remind myself to use other things, I have a tendency to just kind of always go for the same stuff. Come off of there. Ah. I like to use these little tags, little like merchandise tags, and I leave the string attached, and I'll just kind of like tuck it behind the tag like that, so it'll get like anchored down, But I do like to leave the string on there. This needs postage. There we go. One staple. Is there a reason why I staple them and not use glue? Joy, I feel like it's faster to staple them. And also, I like that it's still flexible, like it moves really well. When I use them on the front of a journal, though, I'll go back and kind of tighten them up with glue, so that they're a lot more sturdy. I realize that on the cover of a journal, this is not, that's not going to hold up just with one little tiny staple. But hi, Shannon. Are you going to make some clusters today too, Shannon? Oh, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came and said hi. Have a good night. I didn't even see you there. Okay, well, I saw you before you left. Awesome. So anyways, yeah, I do, try to make sure that anything that's real loose is not going anywhere. So, but yeah, plus I would go through a lot of glue. I really would. I would go through a ton of glue if I glued everything. All these little elements. And that way it's done. Like it stays where I put it right then. If I staple it. Joy? Oh, are you... I don't know if you're asking me the same question again, but I use staples because of the reasons that I just mentioned. I don't want to use a half a gallon of glue every time I'm making these, for one thing. So, and then there's certain things that I want to kind of stand out or to contrast against whatever is behind it, and then I'll ink it, around the edges. Yeah, it would be a good, paint chips would be a good, paint chips would be a good base, for sure. Yeah, I used to feel guilty stealing paint chips. I don't feel guilty anymore. I don't actually take them that often anymore. I mean, I know you can get them, like, they'll send them to you and that kind of stuff, so you don't necessarily have to steal them, but I always felt like I was stealing. And my kids didn't ever want to be seen with me taking the paint chips. But so these are like those like Tim Holtz like pictures of people, like the bigger oversized pictures of people. And I love the backs of them. They're so cool. So great for clusters. Where is... Random. Just as random as it can be, sort of. Oh, okay. Okay, Joy. I got it. Yeah. No, sorry. I just thought, well, maybe you stepped away for a minute and you didn't hear me. So, okay. We're on the same page now. So also, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit if you're, thinking about stamps. Like, if you want to pick up, like, a mass quantity of stamps, postage stamps, what I look for are, so they sell them in a couple different ways, okay? One way that they sell them is on paper, and the other way is off paper. So what that means is that on paper are postage stamps that are still attached to the envelope paper, right? Off paper would be stamps that have been steamed off. They've been used, usually 99% of the time they're canceled unless you're buying brand new stamps, but you wouldn't be for this purpose. Anyway, so these have been steamed off of the paper. So it's just the stamp. So that's called off paper, and this is on paper. A lot cheaper to buy them on paper. I prefer them on paper, actually. I just like the way they look when I attach them to like a book page or something. And a lot of times, since it's the corner of the envelope, you can sort of slide it over the corner of the page. Sometimes people just rip off the whole corner of the envelope. So how many layers do I usually do? I don't know, Brenda. Maybe probably at least 5 or 6 layers, I would say. Yeah, usually 5 or 6. Let's see. I use my grandkids' poster boards after they're done with their school projects. Yeah. Yeah, it's great for, upcycling or, whatever you want to refer to it as. But, yeah, I mean, it's perfectly good paper, right? Might as well use it. I really am liking the cheesecloth lately. Just the look of it in the clusters. I like to kind of tug it around, kind of pull it, so it looks a little bit more haphazard, And then these are some of those. Remember I showed you guys those Anna Griffin cards that I bought the other day with the intention of cutting them up for clusters. So that's what this is. I just cut them up into like chunks, kind of. Because I want to use little elements, little pieces of them in here. And you know, I'm very tactile with my choices of what I want to use. So that's why I'm always like touching things, you know, trying to see. I guess I see with my hands. Gonna buy cheesecloth, so I went and bought some gauze. Yeah, gauze. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear me loud and clear, Joy, if you got your earbuds on, huh? Yeah, I've used gauze before too. Yeah, and the tea bag paper. I know the kids think I'm crazy for making them save tea bags, but don't throw those away. You know. But yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, the whole thing is just held together with one staple. You know, that's kind of just my own personal thing. That's what I like to, you know, accomplish. But it doesn't have to be that way. You know, I mean, use as many staples as you want. I just like the way it looks better with just one. Let's see. So this base, I love fussy cutting too. I didn't see that at first, Carla. I love fussy cutting too. That's what I used to do at work all the time. I had like folders of stuff that I took to work, you know, just to cut out at work. I just love cutting paper, period. It doesn't matter. Just inking up that little tag to kind of add another layer on top of that. I'll stamp. Let's see. I want to use some of these ration stamps on here. I'm gonna sort of fold them like that. There we go. And I just kind of keep layering, I guess, until I feel like, you know, till I like it. So I'm gonna add a little bottle cap right there. On to the next one. What am I cutting? Oh, you're talking to me. Okay. I'm being nosy. Let's see. I really love using these postcards. Just the, you know, half of an old vintage postcard. A piece of coffee dyed fabric. Sometimes I'll use 2 pieces. Not often, but you know, just kind of depends. Piece of doily. Just trying different pieces, different elements. See how I like them. Really like this number 7. There's some little tiny things. This is my like teeny tiny stuff in this little compartment. Looking for something. Guess that's it. It's done. Yeah, clothing tags would be awesome bases, you know, and you could, you know, gesso them and that kind of stuff, or paint them or whatever if you wanted to, or not. Like, I mean, it's a junk journal thing, right? So, whether you decided to cover up the writing on the tag or not, you know, and I have a whole bunch of them. I have tons of, you know, the packaging cards that, you know, that you, with the blister packs, tons of those. Those would be great bases too. And I use those to make tags all the time. Let's see. You have 7 done, James? Or Laura, you have 7 clusters done? Nice. You're getting a lot faster. Yes. Some of the clothing tags have cool designs. Yeah, they do. They put a lot of effort into making sure that they're, you know, attractive. Hang on 1 second. Okay. So there, how many layers is this? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. This little gold thing is from one of those one of these cards. Let's see, how many clusters do I have? Now I'm curious, Laura. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But they're not totally done yet because I want to add like some buttons and maybe some more flowers and stuff like that to them too. So, but yeah, so if anybody you know, decides they want to purchase some cluster embellishments, you may wind up with some of these, or you'll definitely see them in some journals. So. Yeah, I guess I mean, I've made quite a few of them, Fiona, so I have made quite a few of these. And also, I'm trying not to think about it too much. I think that's what the biggest, like, issue is, you know, if you're trying to make a lot of something, you can't think about it too much, or you're just going to constantly be, like, guessing, you're second guessing yourself, and you know, you're not going to like anything. And so I just feel like it has to be spontaneous, and you just have to get used to the idea of just putting it on there, you know, just stick it on there, and your eye is going to tell you where it should be, you know, where it feels good, like where it feels natural, you know. Um, that's where it's supposed to be. You're way too fussy and take too long, Fiona. Yeah, try just, you know what? Here's another thing that I do with certain things, like with some things like this. So if you take, and this is a good way to get a whole bunch of one thing done. Take 5 bases, set them out, add a piece of fabric, anything. It doesn't even matter. Just set it on there. We'll do 5 clusters real fast. Okay, there's another piece of fabric. I'm going to add another piece of lace on that one. Okay, and then we're going to take some other kind of paper element. Okay, like something a little larger. So we'll take something like that, and we'll just add one to each one. Put those back. Let's take a piece of book paper. Okay, this is old vintage book paper. Let's layer that in there too. It's a little bigger than this piece, so I'm putting it behind there. It doesn't even matter if it's right side up, you guys. It doesn't even matter. It can be any which way. Okay, so there's 3. Now let's look at adding, you know what I really love are the backs of some of these stamps that are on paper, because I like the pattern that's on the inside of the envelope. So I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, here's another one that I really liked. Add a little bit of color in there. Just a little tiny bit of the inside of an envelope right there. And then let's add a stamp. A stamp. A stamp. Let's do a Babe Ruth stamp on that one. Let's get a little bit of color in this one. We'll add that yellow stamp. And then let's see. Some other kind of like tiny little element, right? We'll use that number 12. Number 14. They don't have to be numbers, you guys. They can be whatever. This is a little cutout of a teapot. Like I punched it out of like a magazine page or something. Here's another one. It's a teapot. It is in no way, shape, or form related to Babe Ruth, right? But it's on there. It's a little tag that I punched out. Okay, so those are on there. And you know what? However it winds up, just staple it together. As long as you have like a point where everything is going to be in there, just staple it together. I want to be able to see that this is actually a postcard somehow. So I'm just going to kind of tilt those. Yeah, I'm just going to tilt those a little bit so you can see the writing coming through right there. It is definitely overthinking. I do it. I do it all the time. That's why I make a million journals at one time. 1 second. Okay. I have a rule of odd number items in each embellishment. I think my OCD is coming out of the chaos. So, Kara, you're saying you like to have odd numbers? Yeah, I like odd numbers too. And yeah, I like odd numbers too. And your eye likes an odd number. So, okay, so let's finish these. So what I would like to do is add some kind of a flower or something like that to some of them. And this is what I usually do. Like I make a whole bunch of them up to this point, right? And then I come back and sort of embellish them all at the same time. So that gets a little flower. Some of them will get, if it's a large, cluster, it'll get a larger flower, right? A larger kind of embellishment. Like this one. I like that one up there. See, I make up a whole bunch of flowers. Like I have a whole bunch of flowers that are prepped and ready for me to use however I want. For you, the key is to not get too many choices out. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that definitely bogging someone who has a who has difficulty making choices about what you want to use. Like make decisions of what you're going to use initially before you start the project, rather than saying, okay, well, let's get all the things that I could possibly use and put them on my desk. That's what I do. I get out everything I could possibly use, and then because I feel better when I have a million choices. Thank you, Brenda. I know, isn't that a nice glue gun? See, guys, this is my brand new glue gun. It's a Pro 80. I figured I'm a professional glue gunner. Anyway. So cool. Wow, your collection of pieces is awesome. Susan, I have lots of stuff. So thank you. Yeah, I do have a lot of options. So I kind of get them all to that point. And then a lot of these little clusters get buttons. I just really like the way they look. And I get to use up some buttons. Again, I try not to think about it too much. As far as placement of buttons, they just go where they go. No, it's not cordless. Elizabeth, it's not a cordless glue gun. I looked at the cordless ones. Now see, it's got a cord. I looked at the cordless one, but then I thought, you know what? I bet you burn through 1,000,000 batteries, especially since I don't seem to know how to even unplug mine. I leave it plugged in all the time. Not on purpose. But I like this one because it has these different tips that you can attach to it. And if you need to glue like a whole bunch of something, or a big giant space, it has this other kind of like flat, like splayed out sort of tip that you can attach. So there's 5 clusters done. Oh, you just didn't see the cord. Yeah. No, they do have a cordless one. Yeah, they do. Everything is so easy to work so fast. Hi, Vicky. I didn't even see you come in. It is easy. That's the thing, Vicky. Show you close up the clusters that I just finished. Okay. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit too, okay? Oh, you know what? I don't know how to zoom in on this thing. I don't know how to do that, honey. So there's that one. Hopefully it's focusing okay. It looks like it is. And, oh, that's not one of the ones. Okay. And this one. To the right. Is that okay? That's directly under the camera. And, oh, these aren't the ones we just did. What am I doing? I'm sorry. Too many clusters, you guys. Okay, these are the ones we just finished. Okay. So this is one that we made 5 all at the same time, or I did. And sometimes I do it that way just because I get more done that way. You know? And these could be used as tuck spots. These could get attached to a tag, to a pocket, to an envelope, all kinds of stuff, you know. Pretty versatile. And I'll make a few little teeny tiny ones, you guys, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So those are the 5 that I just made all at the same time, right? So for like a little teeny tiny cluster that, you know, like I want to use on, I'll do one on a paper clip. So this is just a paper clip that has, thanks you guys. A paper clip that just has a piece of paper like stapled onto it, okay? And I made these with the intent of them being like clusters. So basically it's the same thing. It's just, you know, smaller elements, you know, like a little tiny piece of coffee dyed duck cloth right there. And then I'll use like a little, let's see. Oh, my stomach's growling. I'll use a little flour. This is actually a little piece of a Tim Holtz, like, you know, ephemera pack flour thing. So there's a flour that's going to stick off. Oh, to my right. Sorry. Is that better? If you make them really small, you can make them into a hidden paper clip. Yeah. You could, Laura. Okay, and that's just a little butterfly, and then let's see, some other little teeny tiny thing. Oh, here we go. There's a little, I don't even know what that is. Oh, you know what? Let's put this word on there. It says magical. So there. Whoops. So a little tiny cluster. Yeah. So is that okay? Is that a better vision for you, Vicki, or everybody? Anyway, so there's a little tiny one, and then we could also on a little teeny tiny one, put a little teeny tiny flower. Right? This little tiny flower. Oh my gosh, my stomach is going crazy. There. So I just put a little flower right there. Okay, Joe, you gotta go. All right. Well, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe next time. We'll see you again next time, okay? And then let's put a little teeny tiny button on it too, because I think it needs a little bit more color. Let's put the button right there. So it's almost like an asymmetrical type of balance situation here. So like these things are, so this is our vertical, okay? We've got these two pieces that are kind of sticking off over to the right? But they're sticking out pretty far, so it's making this a little bit heavier on the right side. So we need something to kind of pull you back over to balance it out, right? So that's probably why I wound up putting the flower and the little button both together on this side. And also this hanging off just a tiny bit helps to pull your eye back over. So it's like balanced. And it's just something that your eye does naturally, you know, when you're thinking about where to place things. Just keep moving it around until it feels better. Like you'll feel it in your head that it feels better when you put it there, you know. If you put everything over on one side or you line everything up perfectly, in certain circumstances that's good, but you know, for this kind of situation, we want this to be more random. We want it to feel more random. We want there to be that kind of interest, you know, to encourage somebody to continue looking at the layers, you know. That's really what I'm trying to do, is get you to look at each layer. So anyway, that's a cluster in depth. Do I paint all my flowers? No, I don't paint all of them. I paint a lot of them though. Sometimes I will just, you know, paint a whole bunch of flowers. Those flowers I painted, right? Like some of those are painted, I guess. Those are not painted. How do I paint my flowers? So you want to see my favorite like paint to use on those? It's a gold paint. Oh great, now I have to find it. 1 second. And I mix it with I mix the paint with these things. What are they called? What's the name of them? I'm terrible at this, you guys. Anyway, it's like a mica powder, you know? I get this at Michael's. You know what I'm talking about. Where's that paint? Perfect Pearls. Yeah, Perfect Pearls would be the same as this. This is not Perfect Pearls, but it's just like it. Anyway, so I use this paint. It's again Deco Art, and it's intended for furniture. It says, but it's really just a, you know, acrylic paint. Yeah, magicals would probably be great. I don't have any magicals. I really want some, but you know, yeah, I have a lot of other stuff to do first. So I love this gold paint though. Anyway, but if you use that and then add some of this to it, you can get those different tones in the gold. So it's like still gold, but you can give it a different tone. So, all right, now if I can get the lid back on. So there's that one. This is the Splendid Gold, and then this is the Champagne Gold. A little bit different tone of gold. So, and that's really mostly what I use when I paint those flowers, is these two paints mixed with different mica, you know, powder pigments. So, yeah. So what are you guys at? How many clusters do you have now? How many you got? So I'm just going to keep doing it that way because I just want you to see that it works really well. It's quick. You've done 4. You've done 4, Carla. Nice. Hey. Try doing something like that, like what I'm going to do here again, you know. I'm just going to try to go a little bit smaller this time. I mean, if you want to, you know, you don't have to. And honestly, like, my goal always is not to just get as many of something done as I can. Like, that's not my goal. I just don't know when to stop sometimes. Nice, Anne. Well, that's the important part. That's the important thing. You've got to, you know. What were you doing? You had to pick out pages for your journal. Oh, like, are you putting together like a like signatures or? Let's see. Okay, I've got 6. I know, Paula. I think it's great to have things prepared and ready for use. Yeah. I do too. Because when the urge strikes, I like to be ready. You know. Yeah, too bad Steven couldn't be playing his guitar in the background and stuff. Trying to hint at him. Oh, he left now. So I'm trying to go just a little bit smaller on these. I had so much fun making Flow junk journal kits for a couple giveaways that I might just make a bunch of kits like that. Yeah, I haven't ever done that, the Flow junk journals. But I think it sounds pretty cool. I know they're intended for you to you give them to somebody and then they're intended to be used, right? The stuff in the book is intended to be used, just like the Flow books, right? Yeah. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't realize that the 5th Flow book for paper lovers had come out. I must have missed the memo. So I saw it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I saw it was available. For some reason, something just told me, hey, go see about the Flow book. Anyways, so I did. And, yeah, so I ordered it. It wasn't cheap either, you guys. Just saying. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of additional, like, color into these if I can. It's so funny, you know, remembered that, Paula, that my stomach was growling. Oh. See, I'm overthinking these. See, I'm thinking about them too much, and they're getting all messed up. When did it come out? I'm not sure when it came out. But I had to get one. So then there's all these little tiny merchandise tags. I need something else on that one. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add a postage stamp on each one. I just love the postage stamps, you know. I mean, I just love the way they I love the way they look on the you know, elements. They just add, I don't know, that kind of vintage like feeling, I guess, you know. That's why I like the postage stamps. I don't necessarily have a thing about collecting stamps. I'm having a hard time with this particular one, so I'll be glad when it's done. But this one, I'm just going to put this whole strip of Eisenhower stamps in a row like that. And then some of these, wait, I know, I got to stop thinking, huh, Carla? I know, that's the problem. I start thinking and then everything gets all messed up. Here we go. Use up some rickrack. We'll go sideways on that one. Hi, Sam. My son Sammy, who is 17, and his girlfriend are here for the weekend. He lives with, temporarily, he lives with one of his friends in another part of town where we used to live, because he didn't want to change schools when we moved here. So I let him basically move in with one of his best friends for the time being. Oh, there's a little piece of lace trim that I'm going to use on here. There we go. All right. Now, one little teeny element on each one. So I'm going to pick them each up individually and then add some kind of little element on top. There we go. Okay, Carla, you can take a break. Laura's here and Brenda's here and stuff. So I'm going to use one of these little merchandise tags on here. And, oh, blue. Yep, a little blue punched out little label. You do great thinking or not. Oh. Thanks, Grace. Well, I seriously, I need to make a whole bunch of these, you guys. So that's kind of where I'm at in my head. Oh my gosh, I got to make a bunch of these. But that's okay. I mean, I could sit here and do this for a few hours and I'm good, for a while, you know. good for a while. And, you know, I don't even care if I cover up stuff that I put on there already. It doesn't matter. This is just a collection of random things kind of attached on a little piece of paper. That's it. It's not like a huge, you know, statement piece, right? I'm making a shopping list for those tiny merchandise tags and some rickrack. Nice care. I know, I like the way the rickrack looks in those. And there is rickrack in the junk journal salad. Oh, yeah. Oh, Laura, that's so cute. Laura has an awesome husband, I can tell. He's very supportive of her moderating duties. Brenda, you need postage stamps? Well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind for you. Sorry, I'm just reading your chat, you guys. Kind of scrolling up and down. Yeah, I don't need more paperclip ones, but I did use a lot of clusters on those mini journals. A lot of the mini journals, I've been using like a cluster on the front of it, so that's kind of what's been happening. So I'm going to go one at a time for a minute here. Let's see. Once I kind of get loosened up, it's a little bit easier for me to just, you know, kind of crank them out. And see, I just try to make sure that I'm at least maintaining the idea of each layer. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, the salad you're talking about, Anne? Okay, yeah, I was wondering what that was you were referring to. Yeah, so I'm going to make some more salad, and obviously, you know, it's going to be different. Each batch of salad is definitely different. So I just looked over and I noticed that these little bits of doily are a nice color for that. So add a little piece of that in there. Yeah, sometimes I blow my own mind. Like, I'll be making these things and then, you know, not even thinking about it, and then I'll just look over and I'll have just this giant pile. Flow magazine on eBay for like $50. Yeah, Heather, I got mine for $39.99. It was like, yeah, and $5 for shipping. That's worth it to me. What's your logo contest, Care? I'm curious about that. What's up with that? My son is supposedly working on my logo. We'll see. And we did miss you, Carla. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, he's working on my logo. he asked me the other night, he said, so what does 2 silver oranges mean to you? You know, and at first I wasn't sure what he meant, you know, like literally, or but then, you know, he's looking for inspiration for my logo. So okay, I'm going to have to go now, Jessica. Good night, everyone. And if I could draw, I would have so many ideas. Okay, Brenda, I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay. Chat to me later on if you want. I mean, if you're okay, if you're feeling okay. But thank you so much for helping out. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I will, if I don't hear from you later on or whatever, then I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Have a good night. Anyway, so I was kind of wondering about what does it mean to me? What does 2 silver oranges mean? And so I guess, like, I don't know, they say that there's no words in the English language that rhyme with silver or orange. And so to me, it just kind of means one of a kind. You know, that's sort of what it symbolizes to me. Oh. Oh, you're so funny, Brenda. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're okay. The logo needs to be a heart with butterfly wings and a seedling coming from the heart. I should talk to my son about that. He's a staff designer for an advertising agency in Oakland, and that's what he does. So, maybe I'll talk to him about that. So people get art supplies and learn to use them. The nonprofit helps disabled people get art supplies and learn to use them. Oh, thanks, Heather. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of why what that name means to me is that, you know, I don't want to be like a cookie cutter, you know. I want to do what I want to do, and I don't know. Yeah, one of a kind. But we all are, you know, anyways. So, you know. Yeah, I'm loving these butterflies, these paper butterflies. They're super cool. I only have one I've been going back and forth making paper. For my logo, well, we're doing. I'm wanting 2 oranges, obviously, and I really need my logo to be able to stand on its own with just two pictures of oranges, and without having to have the business name associated with it. So that is important. And I do want it to be somewhat like old-timey, you know, vintagey, but still like elegant, somewhat elegant, and not too rustic. And I want those oranges to be imperfect. Like, I need them to be expressive and realistic. And So those are just, you know, kind of some of my ideas. Like, you know, just as far as the feeling I want from my my logo for myself. And you know, with these clusters, it's like anything can work. It doesn't even matter. Like anything at all. I mean, like you can just fold paper up in weird ways. I'm like, I want some more ribbon or something. Yeah, see, I have this little tiny piece of rickrack that's getting stuck on there. Anything works. It's just a collection of all of the stuff on your desk, right? So I think it's better almost to pull out just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Carla, they are addicting. 2 oranges on a stamp. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if the oranges, that would be great if it was like a rubber stamp. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, on like a postage stamp, you mean? Okay, I think I know what you mean. That would be kind of neat, wouldn't it? I do use a lot of stamps. They are totally addicting, Carla. I don't even know where I got this whole addiction from. I think I just one day was like, I just got tired of trying to figure out every time I was putting a page, like working on a page, and I wanted to have, you know, like layered yeah, a vintage postage stamp. But I was working on you know, like layering on a page and stuff, and then I think I just thought, oh my god, I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of those, you know. Anyway, but they're really nice to have. They're really nice to have handy, you know. I'm sorry, Vicky. I know you guys, not just Vicky, but all of you. If I'm not in frame and stuff. Yeah, Elizabeth, exactly. That's that's kind of what I do, you know, like I picked up a whole bunch of flowers. Oh, and thank you, by the way, for the inspiration on the silk flowers. You, in one of your videos, you were talking about that, and one of the little tags that you made out of the one of the cards from the notebook I sent you. You used one of the big yellow ones, and I was just like, yes, right on. And so I bought some silk flowers actually at Joann's, but and I know you got the ones from the dollar store or whatever, but I was at Joann's, so anyway, I know I live at Joann's, whatever. Shut up. Anyway, no, so these are the hydrangeas, and oh my gosh, they're just perfect. Just perfect. So I'm probably going to paint some of these. Yeah, so I'm going to paint some of them and probably spray some with alcohol inks and stuff like that. Yeah, I was obviously in a pink and white mood that day. But I did get a couple other styles of silk flowers. And so I just kind of took them all apart, and yeah, I love them. And then I'll layer them together, and I might even use here's something that I've been doing lately with paper flowers, is using these little guys. I just totally went off subject here, but that's okay. I need a break. Oops. I like to take one of these little flat, like, spacer beads. One second. Take a little spacer bead, like that, right? It's like a flat bead. And then put the brad through there, and then just attach that to the flower. Yeah. So they kind of look like that. I like that. Pretty, huh? Different. But yeah, so hey, let's put that on a cluster. Wanna? Let's put it on that one. Let's. I must be let's. There. So. Yeah, I love those. And that, I mean, Elizabeth definitely inspired me. Elizabeth of Never Hopeless by Elizabeth in the chat. Yeah. Okay, so what's this idea? Alta crate label is an awesome idea. Been lurking. Busy jelly printing. What about a vintage looking crate label for your logo? A crate label. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I'm just trying to picture it. Like there's some kind of like almost famous like orange crate design that I've seen. Yeah, I like that too. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I use those, and then you know what else is kind of neat? Are these ones are a little large, but here, wait, let me show you. I also have, if you pick up these little gears, it's a little tiny, like steampunk like collections. You'll find these little gears, or even washers. To use in the center of flowers. Yeah, I like those little gears in flowers. Gears are your standard for flowers? Yeah. Do you really use gears in your flowers, Care? I'm just saying. Or are you teasing me? Oh. Anyway. That's cute. I like that little pink flower. Oh, guess what else I got today, you guys? Look, I got my crocodile. I like the hard edges, I really do. I'm a grunge mixed media artist. Okay, yeah. I do too. I like mixed, or I like hard edges, and I like the contrast of a gear and a flower. I like that. I know, yeah, I got my, I don't know why I never had one before. I've been using this guy for everything. Maybe because I'm a cheapo, but, well, I just prioritize, like, what I want to spend money on. But, This thing is like bulky. So anyway, yes, I got my crocodile. I feel like a real crafter now. Yeah, I'm a grown up. So what do you guys think? You think you're ready to make about 400 clusters? So these are done. These ones are totally done. These are ready to use. Those have some kind of embellishment or whatever. And you know what? As I'm using them, I might ink around the edges of certain places or whatever. Now, some of them, I want to add something to it, like usually a button. Usually, I use a lot of buttons on these. This one's done. Are you ready to make some clusters? Your eyelets splay so evenly. Mine are always ratchet. That's funny. Well, I don't know. Maybe because I smash them really hard. I don't know, Elizabeth. So bringing cluster supplies on my next trip. That's so cute. Yay! So, what do you guys think about... Now, I don't want to get in over my head because I'm already kind of pressed for time for a lot of stuff, but don't you think it would be fun to do a cluster swap? I think it would be super fun. Who would be interested in doing like a cluster swap? And if you are interested in doing that, yeah, join our Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. It's Carla, I'm pretty sure you figured out how to link it, right? Okay. It'll be fun, right? You might be interested, Elizabeth? Okay. So anybody who's interested in maybe Carla, you could post something, like a post in the Facebook group about a cluster swap or something, or I can post it later. It's, either way, doesn't matter. Laura, we got to get you on Facebook. We got to get you in the group so that, yes, Fiona, you do need to join it. No having computer issues, just go to junk journal collections. Right. Okay, that's right. I know. I don't know how to link it either. Yeah, just searching groups, you guys, for junk journal connections. Yeah, junk journal connections. International too. You know what? I don't see any problem with that. I mean, if we limit the, what would be, we have to think about that. I think we should be able to do it international too. I really do. It's not that expensive to ship, six things like that to Switzerland or whatever. That doesn't cost that much. So I think we should be able to do it for international as well. And yeah, so join the Facebook group, Junk Journal Connections, and anybody who watches the video, You know, that's what I was thinking, Care. Volunteers to swap international. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like if we could get like international members to swap other international members, maybe, or, you know, I don't know. I've never done a swap before, you guys. I've never done it before. Never, ever, ever. So I have no idea how it works. But so anybody who has, I feel like I could really use some help with it. If anybody is willing to, maybe, you know, you're working on your mind reading skills. That's funny, Don. If anybody wants to maybe help out with that, that would be awesome. Or maybe kind of walk me through it, you know. Anyway. Okay, Carla. I don't want you to start resenting all your duties. Oh. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, we could do like a cluster swap, and we'll think about like what kind of parameters and that kind of stuff. We'll do like size limit and stuff like that, okay? To make sure that they don't get too heavy. Because you know what? I think that they could honestly turn into like a little ATC kind of thing. You know what I mean? Same kind of idea. So anyway, okay, you guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and finish up these little clusters and fix some din for my kids. So, Fiona, you're in Australia. Okay, yeah. So, are you just join our Facebook group? Let's see. You can't find the Facebook group. Okay, just a second. Let me see if I can find the link. Okay, just a minute. You know what? I have it in. One second. Great. I never sign into Facebook on my computer, so it's not saved in here. Okay, Paula. You guys have a good night. So, already was part of the Facebook group. Okay. So, I'm not sure how to, because I can't get to the chat. Wait. Let me see if I can get to the chat and see it, because I can link the group on my phone. I just can't, I'll tell you what, I will link it in the video description. I'll put the link to the Facebook group in the video description later on. And when I can do it, you know, on my phone and stuff and edit the video. So, okay. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out. And if you are already in the Facebook group, post some pictures of your clusters. I want to see them. That'd be awesome. And I'll post, when I get these finished up, I'll post a couple pictures of mine. Okay? All right. All right. I love you guys. I do. Thanks for coming and hanging out. All right. You guys can keep chatting. I'm going to sign off. Bye, Vicki. Bye, everybody. Absolutely, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Okay.